Hello everybody, welcome to my first speed paint. Today I'm going to be drawing Kira Nerys from Star Trek Deep Space Nine, so let's just get into it. So I started out with the ugliest sketch in the world because I thought it'd be fun, and also I'm terrible. It's not actually the ugliest sketch in the world, I lied. It's the second ugliest sketch in the world. You guys should have seen the Odo I was trying to draw before this. This is what I landed on eventually. Yeah, so took a lot of revisioning. I erased a lot of it, as you can see. I don't think there was a single bit of that original sketch that I left untouched. Yeah, so Kira's really stood out to me as I've begun to watch Deep Space Nine. I'm not very far at all. Like, I haven't even finished the first season, but I don't know, I really like her. She's got real spunk. I don't know if I'm gonna say that or not. Like, I don't think anybody's said that in like 50 years. But anyway, Kira. Yeah. So her hair gave me a lot of trouble. I had to look up a million reference photos, and then I wanted to kick myself for using so many reference photos because I had to go through and delete footage of me looking at the internet, and that was a pain. But while I was at it, I also deleted a bunch of time-wasting mistakes that you will not see ever because I don't want to show them. Maybe one day I won't care, but it is not this day. So yeah, just finishing up the initial sketch layer. I had a bunch of flowers later. Her costume gave me trouble because, like, the colors and just the general aesthetic of Deep Space Nine is so, like, dingy and grimy, I guess. And I guess that's part of the appeal of it. I don't know. I have really liked Deep Space Nine. I think it's probably my favorite Star Trek that I've seen to date. I think that the characters are just really appealing, especially Kira. And it's just, I don't know, it's like, I remember a time when I was like into, I think it was Star Wars. I was on my Star Wars kick, and like my mom sort of said something along the lines of, you know, one day you're into Star Wars, the next you're into Lord of the Rings, what's next? Star Trek? And I said, I don't see myself getting into Star Trek in the near future. And that was a mistake because obviously I'm into it now. And I thought I was just gonna get into the Chris Pine, like, I like the alternate original series, and I thought I was just gonna get into the Chris Pine one, and that'd be it. But nope, Deep Space Nine. So I really liked the way that her hair turned out in the line art. The sort of feather look. The only thing is that when I colored it, I wish I'd put more detail into it, because you'll see at the end, it's like, it's kind of flat. I mean, I do shade and highlight some aspects of it, but I wish I just indicated more strands, I guess. I don't know how to say that, but yeah, but I like the way that it looks at the back of her head, and it's all feathered out like that. And these flowers gave me trouble. I think I worked on these flowers for probably a good 30 minutes. I don't know, you can see the time just slipping away down at the bottom right hand corner because I do not have the patience to figure out how to hide that taskbar. So I should have paid attention to what time it started. So, and then you'll see, like, if you pay attention to that rather than the drawing, which I don't know why you would because I'm pretty sure you're here to see a speed paint, you'll see the time just like jump around, like there, it just jumped from 8:43 to 8:45. But yeah, these flowers, I was gonna do sort of like a copy paste on the layer and just move it around so I didn't have to draw a million flowers, but then I decided to go ahead and draw a million flowers anyway, because what is life for if not for appreciating flowers? And then I drew, as you can see, a bunch of little filler line art things on the wrong layer. Instead of drawing it on the layer with Kira, I drew them all on the flower layer, which I was kind of upset about, but in the end it was more of just kind of annoying rather than really hurtful to the end result. Yeah, and here's me struggling with flower placement. I decided later to just give up on that. Oh, there we go. That's just, it's really kind of funny to see it just like shoot up like that. I'm watching this and I'm like, 1,000 thoughts are going through my head, but mostly it's just, what was I thinking? What was I thinking? And some things. But on other things, it's like, how could I have really done it better? I'm going through sort of an art block right now where it's like, I have tons of ideas on what I want to draw, but nothing that I draw is actually turning out, which is frustrating, and of course the ideal time to post a speed paint. But I'm pretty pleased with this. I mean, I tend to resort to profile views of my favorite characters when I'm in an art block, but for being in an art block, I think this turned out pretty well. It is on Redbubble, so I don't put anything on Redbubble unless I really like it. This handy dandy little draw your selection tool that I've recently discovered has been so helpful. It's like, why didn't I have this problem where I don't explore the systems I'm using. I just sort of like take it at whatever I can get it. That's what I'm working with, and I'm not going to try to change anything. Maybe that's a problem, but hey, it's worked, right? I have made my own brush, which after about 2 years of having Paint Tool Sai, I made my own brush. How fun. The rest of the brushes I stole from other artists. Even though I've never quite figured out how to completely replicate the brushes that they use. And even to this day, I'm not entirely sure how to make a brush. I just know that I just sort of messed around with the values until it looked decent. What I really need to work on is I need to work on, like, especially in the profile view, how clothes actually fit on people. Because I feel like I'm lacking in that part, lacking in knowledge. I feel like I can sort of convey a general idea, but I don't think I can convey it very clearly, very accurately. So that's just something I need to work on in the future. And then also, I need to work on poses, which probably one of the reasons I just revert to headshots is because I feel like when I do poses, they end up really stiff. And, oh, there's a leaf right there that I don't color in ever. And I realized that as I was watching this, and I'm like, well, I'm not going to change it now. But, yeah, but when I do poses, I feel like they turn out really stiff, and I know it's because I haven't practiced them. But when things turn out stiff, I get discouraged, and I end up sort of taking a break on art for a little while. I went through a million different phases of these colors for her skin and blush on her skin. It took me about a million tries to get the right color because the colors on my laptop are kind of distorted, so it's really a matter of just guessing. But not bad. I mean, I've done more detailed work before, but for being in an art block, again, not too shabby. Running out of things to say. I always thought that I could talk for I could talk for 13 minutes if I was ever given the opportunity, because I'm actually a pretty big talker, but I guess not. Especially when I have to comment on my own art. This is like, well, you're seeing it, what do you want to know? Yeah, see, this is where I wish, like, I thought that the tool that I used gave it enough texture that I didn't need to add strands, but when I looked at it on mobile, it was like, I wish I'd done more with that. But next time, I suppose. So, I feel like this jumps around a lot. Like, when I was drawing, it's like, oh, I'm not jumping around too much, it'll be fine, but now that I'm watching it, it's like, yikes. Bad. Jumping. Well, let me know if it's a real problem. Here's my favorite trick to use in digital art, my favorite trick in the whole entire world, and that's called using purple shadows. And just using the multiply tool. I mean, I learned it from I think Aaron Blaze. I think he was the first one to teach it to me, and then I've really kind of just been using that ever since. Maybe not the purple shadows, but the multiply layer thing. He taught that to me, and it's been real convenient. I love using purple shadows. I just feel like it makes the whole piece look more cohesive, and also it's nice not having to go through and pick each individual color for each shading thing. I just totally lost my train of thought here. What am I even talking about? Talking about shadows. Yeah, I think we're almost done with the shading, so I can't talk about shadows for much longer, can I? I love it when it like just goes full purple on her face. Pick the lightest color purples because I feel like they work best. The multiply feature. And I do wish I had maybe worked a little harder on the shading on this one. Especially around the collar of her uniform. But, you know what? You learn from your mistakes. And you can't learn from your mistakes unless you make mistakes. Unfortunately, you will never see my mistakes. Because I cut out about like 20 minutes of mistakes. So, we're good. I was thinking about leaving all these flowers white because I was just so done with messing with all these flowers. Like I said, I'd worked on them for a while and I was tired of them. Flowers are not my favorite thing in the world to draw. They're just my favorite thing in the world to appreciate. But I figured now I'll add a little color, added some purple and yellow. And then I feel like it was kind of risky because I don't know, and I still don't know because I'm blind, but I don't know if the colors really worked with her color scheme, so let me know if you think they did or not. I'm really curious actually. So I think we're drawing to a close here, coming to the end. And we're still jumping around, and then we're saving! Yay! That's 13 minutes, 14 minutes that I've talked. Wow, I'm incredible. Anyway, here's the finished work, and hope you have a good rest of your day. Thank you very much for watching. Bye!